Keisha.
Can you tell me what you enjoyed most about South by Southwest Interactive?
Sure. The thing I love most, it happens every year, is going into a panel, I'm not sure what it is, and it's the one that ends up blowing my mind and really making me think about changing some things in my life. And the theme that I find myself gravitating to this year, for example, I stumbled into global connectivity. I thought, what's that? I love global work. I love the idea of connection. What's this about? And it turns out it was about open data and mapping. And for me, it brought home, we have so much around us with data analytics, and we know all these business models that are growing up all around this. But how do we take those big ideas that we have that are part of our everyday life and the businesses? I'm a technology attorney. How does that apply to concepts of social justice around the world? How can we take the notion of big data, or how is that helping like Dar es Salaam in Ethiopia? So that's what I found most compelling. How you have communities in the world that aren't part of all this that we're doing right now, and so it's a part of a social justice equality issue. How can we bring that connectivity to people in the world, and how do you make them part of this digital world we're in? So you're talking about people that go around where there's no connectivity. Imagine your world without 4G or LTE. They're sketching by hand landmarks walking through the city, and there's no internet, whatever, so they go home. When they get back, they can like digitize that information, and so little by little building up this database or bank of information. And the United Nations, I went to the United Nations House, so I was so surprised to hear these type of issues taking place as part of development efforts around the world. It's not just feeding and water and those important issues, but technology is becoming like a human right issue around the world. And the thing I love most was learning about the United Nations Global Innovation Exchange.
Oh.
So part of what I do, I'm the Honorary Consul of France for Austin. I've been working to connect France and French engineers and technology to Austin and Texas. But, that's hard enough to think about how we make those people connect. Well, as we learned from the UN panel, some amazing ideas have come from this Argentinian guy in his garage. Where's the marketplace? How do you get that idea out here into the bigger world and have other people find it? So that's what they're doing. So they're doing this on a global scale, with some countries and places that are more obscure than, universities have portals come in and look at our technology. Well, how do you do that at a very basic, organic level, and who is the entity that can do that and it's worth doing? Well, it takes these giant NGOs to do that. So that was my favorite part. And hanging out in the morning with my house guests from Brazil and planning the day. I think, my son's at college. It's just me in the house. So hanging out, drinking coffee.
Yeah. Did you guys eat a lot of barbecue?
We eat no barbecue. I think in fact, Brazil has a huge amount of people here. So a friend of mine in Brazil lives in Paris. She said she was at a panel and she was writing something, and she walks by and she sees her first assistant she had when she was working in Rio or Sao Paulo. I can't remember. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So
definitely a global experience as well. Yeah.
Everyone is crossing paths. It's a big hub for people crossing paths from all parts of your life. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your insight. I'm glad we met here in the hotel lobby.
Here in the lobby of the Hilton. Thank you for showing me the outlet I could use. Nice cheer. That's great.
Thanks so much, Liz, and enjoy the rest of your South by Southwest.
Thanks. Bon voyage. Okay.